welcome to the very first episode of the Infield, where we look at the races over the weekend, we review them, look at the results, and then I give my opinion on them. So, we kick off the American racing season. We have the Continental Tire Sports Car Series as well as the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, both over there at Daytona. So we kick it off with the Continental Tire Sports Car Championship from Daytona. And going into this race, one big story is that the GS class now had GT4 cars in it thanks to IMSA allowing. Unsurprisingly, a lot of teams jumped on to that, and as a result, we got a neat little collection of GT4 cars. We had the Mustang GT4, the BMW M4 GT4, or GT4 Club Sport, and then of course, a car that got a lot of attention at the war, the McLaren 570S GT4. A lot of interesting stuff going on there. So the winner of the GS category was Trent Hyman and Cameron Casillas in the number 12 Body Motion Porsche, with of course other Porsches sweeping the other two podium positions and fourth as well. So absolute Porsche domination. And then the ST category was won by the number 73 Mini JCW. Usually at a place like that, the Mini's kind of at a disadvantage, but surprisingly ended up winning that. And this was despite the fact that it had to have a hood replaced partially through the race. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, the only opinion I can really offer on is just the inclusion of GT4 in the GS category. And to me, I think it's a wonderful idea. As much as I loved the Z28R and then the Shelby Mustang GT350 RC, the GT4 I think is a great idea because we don't have only these big teams and the manufacturer funded ones running these cars most of the time and winning so many races. Now everybody has a chance to win. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think we're going to get some great racing this year from this series. And hopefully I'm not going to miss any more races, so I won't sound like I'm pretty much desperately trying to cling on to something. So anyway, on to the next race. So the Rolex 24, there will of course the continuing thing of new, as 3 of the 4 classes have at least one new car in them. In GTLM, we have 3 new cars from 3 manufacturers into the series, although technically one was actually returning. You have Mercedes and their AMG GT3, who are now finally racing on US soil. You have Lexus with the second incarnation of their RC class GT3, which has already had some success racing over there in the neighborhood. And then of course you have Acura and their NSXs. In GTLM, we have 2 brand new Porsche 911s, but not just regular 911 GT cars, mid-engine 911s. And then finally in prototypes, the entire class was new. Every single car that every single team bought was absolutely new. All of these cars ran on the ACO spec P2 platform. These include the WEC prototypes, the J, Orica, Automatic, and Delara. And it also included the IMSA exclusive Daytona prototype international platform, one where manufacturers could run these cars with an engine in the back so long as they designed the bodywork. And of course, offerings from Cadillac, from Mazda, and from Nissan. So, what would happen after all 24 hours? Well, let's look at the results here. In GT Daytona, of course, the winner of that class was the Allegro Motorsports Porsche that was driven by the Caseta family with all their cars named Caseta. In GTLM, the winner of this class was the Ford GT. Finishing in second, of course, was Patrick Pilet in the number 911. But right behind him was, of course, the lone Ferrari of Lotto, finishing third. In the PC category, the one that not many people care that much about, the number 38, and I want to say it's the I can't remember what team it was. Bar 1. They won the race, and yeah, whatever. And in the prototype category, it'll be a controversial fashion. The number 10 car of Wayne Taylor Racing won, with Ricky Taylor taking it to the line after starting a race too, by the way, with brother Jordan Taylor, Max the Axe, Max Angelelli, in his final race. Ooh, what a way to go out. And of course, some middle-aged dude named Jeff Gordon. And of course, finishing second, the number 5 Action Express Cadillac, the Bolsonaro car, Felipe Albuquerque, Bosa, and Christian Fittipaldi. Third, of course, the number 90 Riley. Now, of course, let's get into some talking points for all three classes. We'll start with GTD. The one talking point, of course, is the three cars. The Mercedes, well, it shouldn't really be too big of a surprise. Ended up finishing the race. It's a bulletproof car, it's raced the whole season, so naturally, it's gonna finish the best. With Lexus, now yes, really, the only thing that happened with them were accidents. The only reason the 14 even didn't finish was because of either a catastrophic accident with a traction control or simply a veteran making one of the rarest mistakes you'll ever see. There was no engine problem, there was nothing with the gear, transmission, electrical issues. It was pretty much a bulletproof car when the wall wasn't attacking them. Same goes for the Acuras. Now, of course, only one of the Acuras had an incident where they didn't really get hit anybody because it was a strange one. First, they lost the hood, and then one of them went off the track into the wall. Not hard, though. They continued. And they both did finish. So, all in all, the new cars, they did kind of well. And granted, they didn't finish higher than they were, but again, the only reason things even happened was just freak accidents. So really, this pretty much bodes well. And at a very unique place like Daytona, that really says a lot. The GTLM, the talking point there, well, Ford and their army. I mean, they might as well put Loki somewhere on the pit box. Anyway, just absolutely insane. I mean, pretty much one of the things going into this was just how freaking crazy stacked the driver lineup is. I mean, goodness gracious. Apart from the NASCAR stars, pretty much it's everybody you can think of from the and then some huge name sports car stars, which are not slouches. I mean, was there ever really a question that one of those Fords were going to be contending for a win? PC, surprisingly, it did not cause the most yellows. What did cause the most yellows? Amateur drivers in Lamborghinis. Seriously, most of the cautions, well, the ones that caused the most cautions were not the PC cars. Kind of insane, considering the last few years, they pretty much have been the joke of this series because of the questionable driving standards. And yet, only 2 of them retired. And as for prototypes, oh boy, the controversial finish. Let's be honest, it's only controversial because, one, there's a NASCAR driver and it's so naturally controversy because rigged, because NASCAR, blah blah blah. Honestly, this has been a damn meme for so long, ever since there was Grand Am, that honestly is stupid. It is beyond idiotic at this point that we even still have these conspiracy theories out there. I really do not believe in this stupid idea that IMSA needed a NASCAR driver to make the series big. It doesn't. We are at a point where people are fed up with NASCAR. So, I do not believe that's a stupid idea. It really is a stupid idea. Now is a perfect time for every racing series in America to grow because NASCAR has absolutely screwed itself over. So no, IMSA doesn't need anything from NASCAR. You know why? Because people are tired of NASCAR. They are tired of fake racing. They're done with that. They're done with the gimmicks. They're done with the stupidity. So, no. Stupid idea. This was a racing finish. Yes, it was an aggressive move. It was a young driver. What were you expecting? It was an aggressive move. That's all there is to it. It was a racing finish. It was not politically motivated. It was not motivated by NASCAR and its need to have something like this just to promote its series because it owns it. And now, as for the debate on whether this was a dirty move or not, it's a 50-50 at most. Yes, Ricky Taylor was ambitious, going for a gap only so wide, but at the same time, considering he made a move, okay, not exactly like this, but considering he made a move to the inside with the 5, and the 5 went off at one time, because honestly, let's be honest, the 5 just was not the amount, it was just not the good car that the 10 was. You know, Albuquerque hit his brakes were getting worse. The grip was getting worse. Whereas the 10, it could go into the corners so good every single time. The lap times don't lie. The speed traps don't lie. Heck, the distance it put on its fellow Cadillacs does not lie. I hate to say it, guys. That's fact. The 10 was better. And even if it didn't make that move, it was only a matter of time before that 10 was going to make a pass. So that is it for this episode of the Infield. And I hope you enjoyed what's going on here. I know it's a little awkward, so I would like some input, some feedback on how I can do it better, what I need to do better, what should I do better on this here? Do I need to be slower? Do I need to condense things or whatever like that? Just be sure to let me know in the comments. It'll help me quite a bit. If you like this sort of thing, then feel free to give this a like. And if you like what I have going on, then please do subscribe. It really does help out a lot. So that's it for me, and I will see you next week on the Infield. Take care, everyone.